Hey, hi, how's it going? If you don't know, Nutshell Animations made a response to my video. And I will say before watching this, you should go watch his response. I will be kind of paraphrasing throughout the video as to what he said. And I'll include some clips. I'll definitely be explaining stuff throughout this whole video, but I'm not going to watch it with you. So I do definitely think that you should go watch it. Also, other than just getting the information from it, you should watch it just to see how f***ing shit it is. Honestly, it's a very funny video of a grown man grasping at straws because he knows that he can't prove me wrong. So instead, he just decides to blatantly lie about me and, put words in my mouth in an attempt to make me look like the villain. It's hilarious. He makes me look like I am after his career and that I just hate this guy, when that's not the case. That was never the case. Nutshell, I don't hate you. My intentions with these videos was never to make you look like a terrible person. I've already talked about this, but I will reiterate it. My point with these videos was to take the evidence I was given and share it. Like that was it. But it's fine, bro. Instead of you getting on a call with me like I asked you to so that we could, clear all this shit up, instead you just decided to post an hour and 10-minute long video where you just lie and deflect the entire time. So here's what I did. As I watched the video, I just jotted down timestamps and, little small notes. So yeah, we'll just start at the beginning here. I would just kind of like to go over the way that he framed this video. Essentially what he did is he got in a call with a guy named Rife. This is our quote-unquote middleman, right? This is the guy that I've been talking through because Nutshell is just too pussy to talk to me, right? So he got in a call with him and he framed it like, hey guys, I'm in a call with this guy and he's entirely neutral on both sides. Like he agrees with Beto and he also agrees with me. Whatever, right? That's how he frames it to the audience, is that he's the middleman. And then he went on to make a bunch of lies about me that Rife did not press him on at all because he's not neutral. So what I could have done, is get on this video and talk shit about Rife for lying and siding with Nutshell while also claiming to be neutral. I could have very easily done that. But instead, what I did is I just called him. And, I brought this all to his attention, kind of let him know that I wasn't exactly happy about it. And what I got from Rife is very, very different than the way that Nutshell explains it. So it turns out, and I'll show this in just a second, but Rife had no idea that this video was going to be a direct response to me. What he thought, and again, I'm about to show the way that Nutshell worded it, but he thought that he was going to be in a casual conversation talking about the main talking points, right? From the perspective of the animators. He did not know that he would be framed as the voice of reason, the man on both sides. He honestly thought that it would just be what he is, which is an animator. He thought this was going to be entirely a video talking to him about his opinion on things. And that's why he didn't actually press him on the points from my original video, because he didn't know that that's what it was about. And you also can't really blame him. This is the way that Nutshell framed it. He said, hey, I want you to keep this to yourself. I'm considering making a video just quickly tackling the main points. $50 payment, multiple animators, and crediting. But rather than it just being a monologue, I want to have it chat style with someone that I'm bouncing these points off of. Someone objective, and I'm thanking you. Anonymous, non-anonymous, whatever you want. It'll be non-edited, just an upload with an audio. Relaxed chat-like conversation, similar to what we already had, actually. What do you think? And then he says, first of all, where are you uploading this and what format? As a short or a normal YouTube video? I'm down if it helps. I'm trying to understand how you're doing this. He says, absolutely, it'll be relaxed. It's more so because rather than me ranting on video, it's more of a bouncing my points and explanations off someone that is in a neutral zone. I can have any other animator on this video. I'd rather it be you because I feel you're the best in the know at the moment and you've already been through both sides, etc. He says, all right, I understand now. So as of now, you want me to ask you the question via voice, and then you answer it. So it's just a typical convo, animated, but just regarding the concerning parts, mainly crediting, payment, and animate. And then he goes on to say, yeah, that's it. And then, they kind of plan to get together and do the phone call, right? Not a single time during that did he even say that it was a response to my video. And again, like he kind of framed it as, hey dude, like, let's talk about these points. And I want an animator that, maybe doesn't fully agree with me on some of these points to be there. He kind of just frames it like that, like as if it's an argument between him and Rife. But to the audience, he's like, hey guys, this dude is going to keep me in check because he knows everything. Which is, again, not the case. And that is why Rife wasn't pressing him. Because he didn't know what to press him on. He thought that this was an argument between him and him, not between Nutshell and like sort of me. He didn't realize he was going to be playing my part. And I'll just let him explain this in his own words. He said, hey Beto, I know you watched the video. Just keep in mind that this is mostly my take on the situation. So anything when it comes to neutrality, that's mostly on the perspective of animators working for him objectively. I wasn't aware that it would be directly to your response video. So any form of miscommunication on what you stated or quoted may not all be accurate. Apologies if there's any misconstrued points directly in your response video, and if it seems like I'm speaking on your behalf. I simply address the problems that I think. Have a nice day. Right, so he's already starting the video off framed terribly, just to kind of make me look bad. And you'll see this theme the entire video, that he is purposefully lying and pulling shit like this to make me look like a villain. He literally has this guy on talking for me, but the guy has no clue that he's supposed to be talking for me. So again, like you'll see it multiple times. He's not pressed on shit that he should have been pressed on because Rife had no clue this was a response to me. So anyways, as one of the first points he wanted to address, he decides to talk about the fact that I called him out for hiring minors. In my original video, I said that it is very clear, right? I said that he has a very traceable pattern of reaching out to almost exclusively minors to work for him, right? And so the way that Nutshell decided to go at this, he said that he was going to approach it at 2 points, the legal perspective and his actual animators. And then he went on to say that freelance work, which is the type of work he does, is totally legal for minors to partake in, right? Like that was his whole point. Nutshell, you talked about this for like 3.5 minutes, that it's legal for kids to do freelance work. Brother, I never once, not a single time, said that it was illegal. I didn't accuse you of child labor, bro, because I know that's not the case. I know the laws of freelance work, so you talking about how it's legal for 3 minutes straight makes no sense. I never said it wasn't. If this is a direct response to me, bro, you're responding to nothing. This is irrelevant. You then go on to say that you sent out messages to all of your animators asking them how old they are, just to like prove that you don't only have minors on your team, which again is not a claim I ever made. I said that the majority of your team are minors, or were minors when you first started talking to them. So again, this is kind of a dumb way of showing it, but whatever, right? So he goes on to show about 11 screenshots of people sharing their age and showing that they are in fact not minors. And again, my concern was never that you had only minors on your team. It was that when you reach out to them, they were minors. And I have many, many examples of this. Examples that I shared in my original video. But you kind of use this, you use these screenshots to show that you aren't targeting minors, and that's fine. I said that you were messaging majority minors. I never said only, and you still have yet to prove me wrong on that. All this proves is that it's not only minors, and again, bro, never said it was. He then goes on to say, basically, that because these 11 people aren't kids, and because it's not illegal to hire kids for freelance work, then surely I must be accusing him of something else, right? Like he's kind of confused on what my point for bringing this up was, which is true. I was accusing him of something else, but I'm just going to let him explain exactly what he thinks I'm accusing him of, because it's just a blatant lie.
My fear is if you already knew, if you didn't know that below 18 freelance work is not okay, that's cool. If you knew that my fear is that you're completely trying to accuse me of something here. Accuse me of not using underage kids for work. If you're accusing me of something else, and that I just want to point out is probably like 90% of the reason I'm even addressing this, because that aspect itself is kind of what drives me sick.
Okay, so let's not beat around the bush here, because I think that it's stupid to do so. He's saying that I accused him of being a pedophile blatantly. He says that he fears that I'm accusing him of using kids for more than just work, which is bullshit. Nutshell, you know I never even insinuated this. You know that. Like, this is a clear case of you bullshitting to make me look like a villain. I never even danced around that topic. I never said anything about any situation being sexual ever. Because, bro, I don't think you're a pedophile. I've never thought that. I've never even slightly accused you of it. What I did accuse you of, and the reason that I brought up the age thing in the first place, was for two reasons. Number one, I don't give a single that it's legal. It is blatantly immoral to hire a kid to do work that you're paying them pennies for. Just because it's legal does not mean it's right. Okay? I was calling you out for your character. I do not think that it is a good thing to hire kids, even if you're saying it's freelance work, it's repeatable work. I mean, you're still technically hiring them, right? You have a process. It's not, like they're not contractually hired, but you still have some kind of process. And I think that having a kid in that position is blatantly immoral. And that was my point. And the second very light allegation that I was hinting at, but I guess I'll stop hinting at it as to not give you a way of purposefully misconstruing my words. I was hinting at grooming. What you did to Animator 1, the way you approached this kid, the way that you phrased your messages, this is textbook grooming. And I'm going to show all the messages as well as get on a call with Animator 1 in just a second to really, hammer this home. But first of all, I would just like to say, nutshell, I have always thought that what you did to Animator 1 was grooming. Since the first time I read the messages, the only reason that I held my tongue and did not actually use the word grooming was because I understand how dangerous of a word that is. I understand that people misconstrue that and immediately think it's sexual. They immediately go to the pedophile word, so I kept away from what I actually thought you were as to not give any kind of hint at pedophilia. I could have used the word grooming because that is what I think that's what you did. But I didn't, as to keep people as far away from pedophile allegations as possible, because I know you're not a pedophile. So for you to then go on this video and blatantly lie and say that I was hinting at you being a pedophile this whole time is bullshit, and you know it. Like I said, you are literally just trying to make me look like a villain, and you do this the entire video. So I ask, nutshell, taking an objective standpoint here, who's the bad guy in this situation? Is it the person who makes claims entirely backed up by evidence and proof and omits certain points as to not allow his audience to misconstrue shit? Or is it B, the man who lies on purpose, knowingly lies to make the other guy look like a villain? I mean, that's like I'm genuinely questioning that because, bro, I have never knowingly lied about you. Not a single time. Ever. You have knowingly lied about me multiple times in this video already. We're like 10 minutes in, bro. And there's multiple more points that I'm about to go over of you just lying. I mean, like, come on, bro. You can't be in the right here. Anyways, just to circle back on the whole grooming shit, just to really drive that home. Here's the original messages that he sent to Animator 1. He said, "Hey, Animator 1, I know this is a bit random. I just saw your animations, and geez, you're absolutely talented for being 15. I just had to DM you. We've got this program on Nutshell Animations if you're interested. We pay out animators that would enjoy creating animated clips for us on a consistent basis with no time constraints. We'll give you an audio, and you animate it. Simple as that. I thought you were a talented fit and didn't want to pass on DMing you. Check out our animations. No background art, no color, short clips, super easy going. Interested?" And then he says, "Do you have time limits? And also, how are you guys going to pay me?" And keep in mind, I went over all of this shit in my first video, but I really just have to drive this point home. He said, "You have all the time you need. You can do it in a matter of hours or days. No limit. The sooner, the more you'll keep getting." Notice how he gives absolutely zero details of the job. None. He starts the message praising this guy, then offers him a super chill job opportunity. If you were a kid with a passion for animating, and someone this big in the space praises you and immediately offers you a super chill job, wouldn't you take it? Yeah, no, me too, bro. And Nutshell knew that. Okay, that's exactly why he didn't include actual details of the job. That's why he omitted certain things. Was because he knew Animator 1's age, right? Like he literally mentioned it in the first message. He knew how to get him on board. But that super chill job that he offered, yeah, wasn't so chill. Like, for most of it. But it's kind of senseless for me to just sit here and paraphrase. So I'm just going to go ahead and get on a call with Animator 1, and I'll let him explain it.
All right.
So just real quick, I mean, obviously we already had this conversation, but just, for the
Yeah.
audience, so everybody knows, are
Yeah.
you okay with me using your name?
Yeah. Perfectly
Okay.
fine with it.
And you're
I'll even say it.
yeah. Okay. And you're cool with me using the call, everything like that.
Yeah, fine with everything. You have my consent, Vito.
Okay. All right. Okay, so just real quick, like who were you in the first video? Just so everybody knows.
Yeah, I was animator one.
Okay, yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I am animator one.
Yeah. Um and yeah, like I mean I'm about to show screenshots that line up with that. So obviously same person.
Yeah, yeah.
Tried to keep him anonymous in the first video. Didn't exactly work. But I mean, hey, you agreed to it. So I mean
Yeah, no, I was
that's
fine. I was fine with it either way. I already knew how everything was gonna turn out. It was really just the other animators.
yeah. I mean I could have done a better job, but it's like, I mean, I hey, you guys agreed, bro. So
Nah, you had to
um
make a banger.
I had to. Okay, so obviously we're talking about the fact that well, I mean like the way Nutshell approached you and pretty much the way he treated you the entire time is textbook grill. Um
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So obviously there was the messages where he hit you up, um which I can actually pull those up real quick. But I mean, like, obviously you lived them. You know it. You know exactly what it says.
yeah. I know exactly. Yeah,
But just to reiterate, we'll go to it real quick. So it says, hey, you, right? And it says, I know this is a bit random. I just saw your animations, and geez, you're absolutely talented for being 15. I just had to DM you. We've got this program on Nutshell Animations if you're interested. We pay out animators that would enjoy creating animated clips for us on a consistent basis with no time constraints. We'll give you an audio and you animate it. Simple as that. I thought you were a talented fit and didn't want to pass on DMing you. Check out our animations, no background art, no color, whatever, right? Super easy
yeah.
going is what he says.
Hmm.
Which is, I mean, for the most part, true, right? Like the time constraints thing. I guess there was a one situation where he kind of was on your ass about time, but for the most part, and talking to other
There
animators, like
was
he's pretty
there
chill.
was like I was reviewing the DMs and there's like four times where he was like just bugging me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So for the most part, most animators I talk to, that's like the biggest praisal they can give him. They're like, okay, well, he is chill on the time restraints, but if there's that many situations, obviously send that over. I mean, but
yeah. No, for sure. I'm not gonna let you go off of. I mean, have like no
yeah,
proof, no
yeah,
base.
just words. But obviously that shows that he definitely knew your age when he hit you up. I mean, he says it in the
Yeah, no,
message.
for like 100%, 100%.
And you brought up just a second ago that there's multiple times where he mentions your age and like he's kept up with it. Like right here,
Yeah,
he says, "Sometimes I can't even grasp that you're 16. Are you still 16, man? Are you sure?" Like as if you're lying about that. Uh, that's
are you
wild.
sure?
I'll be honest, it's a wild
Yeah,
message, but I mean, whatever. Like it's harmless for the most part, but I mean, still at the end of the day, like um I really just want to talk about the way he approached you because, again, in my opinion, it is textbook. He
yeah,
praised you and oh, you're so good at this, and then yo, hey, just by the way, here's this job opportunity. It's super chill, but then he didn't really go
yeah,
into detail about like just like he didn't really he did not word it in a way that would lead you astray, like lead you away from it. He didn't
yeah,
word it in a way that you can make your own decision there. He worded it in a way of
yeah.
like, this is the perfect opportunity for you since you're a talented animator. Um,
Yeah, he even like double tech like messaged me just to make sure I saw the message. And also like to go back on that, like for the whole payment thing, like the we have
mhm.
to do two videos and stuff like that. I didn't even know that. Like he doesn't tell you out like up front.
Yeah, so I have seen a few of the newer ones. He actually does tell them. I believe it's after they do their first animation, which is like kind of like a test
Yeah,
drive. But that's what I have seen is for the younger people. I mean, he doesn't exactly tell them that like just he doesn't tell them exactly what the terms are. Whereas the people who I've seen that are,
Yeah.
you know, above the age of 18 that he's reaching out to, it's very, you know, straight to the point. Like, hey, here's this, here's all the details, interested, whatever. Whereas again with the
Mhm.
younger people, it's always like, oh, you know, you're super talented. Like he kind of beats around the bush. Because I mean, like let's just be honest, he knows that, you know, they want to be animators, and so he's giving them this situation, you know, where they can be one. They're
Yeah.
young, they can't really make their choices. So whenever somebody reaches out to them like, hey, you know, here's this super cool, you know, like, come on, bro, obviously they're gonna say yes.
Yeah.
um
Literally. And I also sent like the screenshots, like just to give you proof, just in case you don't have any.
okay, yeah. So I'm just looking at this right now. Yeah, so I mean you can see he asks, what do you mean one for two? And then he says he makes a payment every two. And then just looking at the dates here, right? It's May 29th of 2023. The day that he actually reached out
Yeah.
to him was April. Um, so
Yeah.
it took him an entire month to tell him, like, oh, by the way, I mean the payment, like that's only every two. You know,
Yep.
that's something you should say right off rip, and it is something that he does say right off rip to people who are, you know, above the age of 18. So
Crazy.
yeah. But yeah, no, okay. So he does like kind of keep up with your age. Obviously, there's like the whole 16 thing there.
And then also when he was giving me that lecture, like age is a reoccurring topic. Like remember he was saying like I'm probably double your age.
Yeah, no, he does
Yeah.
definitely go into that a lot. He kind of uses that as like a no, actually I'm smarter than you because this. It's like
Yeah. Like he takes high ground because he's older than me.
yeah. So just real quick, again, I really just want to go over because like my point in the original video wasn't that he just had minors on his team. It was the fact that like when he reaches out to people, they are minors. And obviously,
Yeah.
I've talked to plenty of people who, again, were minors when they had reached out, but are not minors anymore. You right now,
Mhm.
you're still like 17, right?
Yeah, I'm still a minor. Yeah, I'm still
Okay.
17.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you were 15. That was, I mean, 2 years ago. That kind of lines up with what he said in his video, where he
Hmm.
just started the animations like 2 years ago. Um, like if you could go, so if you could go back to your DM, like where he originally hit you up, I like from what you sent me, it is pretty sound, but it does kind of seem like there's like small things missing.
Do you want me to like just like screen record it?
Yeah, honestly, if you could just stream the like, just go up to the top of your DM and just stream that, like that'd be perfect.
All right, I got you. I got you. Let me share my screen. All right, this is the very very top.
Okay, yeah. So we've seen this message, um, and then he
Seen
reaches
that?
out to you. So, okay, so how much would I be paid? Super happy to hear from you. Okay, so the payment would be $50 per clip uh with no time limit in place. One of our freelancers does like two of them a day, and another one does one. Okay, Jesus Christ, dude. All right, does one every 3 or 4 days. So it's really up to you. You set the pace. Also, we pay up front before you even start the work. Okay, that's also not true.
Oh, yeah. He did not pay up front. By the way,
Okay, so
like you can see
yeah. Oh, he
he
didn't on the
sends he
first
sends the
one, did
audio.
he?
He sends he sends the audio first. I make the animation, and then he pays me. Like then he pays me after like revisions and stuff like that. Then yo, I gotta scroll a lot. Yeah, then he pays me. Like I gotta set up the whole bank information and stuff like that. He even says like either by you or a parent, anyone with a regular bank account. So he knew I was like too young to really manage this stuff by myself, like on
Yeah.
my own.
So if you could go back up to that second message just real quick,
Yeah, I got you.
because there's actually just a few. There's like a few things I want to go over on here. So it does show that he does say the payment, you know, like pretty early on in the interaction, which is different from what I was led to believe from the screenshots. But at the same time, like just because he includes a payment, you know, just look directly after it. He says, with no time limit in place, one of our freelancers does this, does like 2 of them a day, another one does like one, 3 to 4 days. So this is
Yeah.
very clear that he's trying to still push the fact that oh dude, it's super chill.
So
Like
easy.
it's so easy. Just I mean, look at this. Like this guy does it, one per day. It's like, he's really trying to push that.
Yeah.
Also, we pay up front. Yeah, we pay up front before you even do the work is just simply not true. He's never done that a single time.
Ever.
I've actually never. Again, I've talked to probably around 10 animators that were willing to share things.
Yeah.
Not a single time did any of them ever say that he pays up front. There's been
I
like
have a
small certain situations where like something happened and you say, oh, okay, I'll pay up front with this, but like he never set it as a precedent for anybody, except for
yeah.
you right here, which was just immediately a lie because he never paid up front.
I have a like a there's another conversation like later on. Pretty much like I was telling him like bro, you haven't paid me for the past 2 animations I did. And then he was saying like he's like, yo, I checked the logs that I got and I paid you up front. It's always been that way. It's always been I pay you, you do the animation. It's always been that way. And I'm like, what? No, it hasn't.
Really? Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
never been that way for
he
anybody.
literally said it. Yeah, he's literally said it, and it's never been that way for anyone. Yeah, exactly what you said. He never did that for me.
What the fuck? Yeah, okay. We'll definitely have to circle back on that. And then feel free to implement your own animation style and have it fluid the way you like. Here, hold on, scroll down just a little bit.
Oh, my bad. Yeah,
No, you're good. We can go about it like I did with the rest as well. Okay, so he says, if it's something you want to continue, I'll pay you for that one and in advance for the next one. Which he didn't do. He
yeah,
did not pay for.
yeah.
He did pay you for that first animation, but he didn't pay you in advance for the next one.
I'll
Um,
have to. I'm like after this, I'm about to check how much he paid me because if he paid me 100, then that's true. But if he paid me only 50, then he just lied right there.
Okay. Yeah, no, that is true. But then he immediately says, and after that point, it'll just be in advance for all of them, which is also not true.
Yeah,
So, okay, so like here's kind of the reason why I say that this is textbook. And I mean, let's be honest, most people are agreeing with me anyways on this.
yeah,
He immediately hits him up and leaves out a ton of details from that original message and is just filling it with compliments and just how chill it is. And even when he's going into shit that's like clearly negative about shit, like payment, he immediately follows it up with, "Oh, but it's super chill. Like sure the payment's low, but like it's super chill." He immediately follows it up with that shit. But and then when it comes to the payment, he's also like, "Oh, and we pay in advance," which is just actively a lie. He's trying to
yeah,
inflate this job because again, you were a kid, still are a kid that wanted to be an
yeah,
animator, wanted to be paid for your work. And so he's inflating this and he's making it look like a great opportunity while also acknowledging your age and saying that you're super talented and all of this stuff. Um,
yeah.
I mean, essentially just to
Like I
get you
mean,
to work for him.
yeah. Like imagine being 15 and like this big creator with millions of followers just hits you up at like you never worked for anyone before. And then he just asks you to work for him because he's seen the stuff that you do for fun. It's like whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
exactly. And I really wish that the adults that I have spoken to, who showed me their messages, would allow me to use them. I mean, here's the thing though. Like,
yeah,
this is a kind of a point that I kind of want to circle back on. Is like the dude, I've talked with a lot of animators, and like if my intentions were to make Nutshell look bad, I could just use the pictures they've sent me. I've got plenty of
yeah,
pictures that I'm not using because I asked them, and they're like, I don't really want you to use that. If I really wanted Nutshell to look bad, I could just say, well, fuck you, I'm gonna use it anyways, but I'm not going to because like dude, trust me, the pictures I have that I could use right now would really help me on this point. They really would.
ooh,
But I'm not going to use them because they told me not to. But I mean, just to kind of like paraphrase what it is anyways, the shit that I'm refusing to use is essentially like whenever he hits up an adult, it is not like this at all. It's very much straight to the point. Um how this type of shit should be. Whereas when it's a
yeah,
kid, it's very inflated and, gassed up to seem like it's a very, oh, dude, dude, you got to jump on this. I mean, which is just like,
that's just. I mean, look at this. Look at the shit that he's saying here. He literally lied about one point because he's like, oh, this sounds good. He never had the intention of paying in advance. He's never done that ever.
Yeah, ever.
But yeah, if you could find that section where he claims he has the whole time, and obviously just to kind of like wrap it
During
up, he hit you up, knew your age, didn't really share details very well, and when he did, he kind of inflated them, like there's this, but also it's like it's super chill and the payment's good or whatever. He definitely knew your age. He definitely knew your naivety. He kept up with your
yeah,
age throughout the entire interactions.
yep,
He complimented you quite a bit, which I mean, come on, like I'm not gonna say that that's a big point, right? Like, oh, he's complimenting you.
yeah,
Clearly, that's great. But when the compliment is also mixed with, when it's like heavy complimenting mixed with the job opportunity, like, I mean, come on, you can't call that anything else.
yeah. Like for mine, like with the naiveness, when I first got the message, I was like telling everybody. When I was 15, I was telling my friends, I'm like, yo, this dude, Nutshell, he just hit me up. He's hiring me. I told my family. And when I told my dad, he's also an artist and he does commissions himself.
Yeah.
And obviously he's older. So I told him and he was like asking me about like the payment and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, he pays me $50. He's saying it's like really easy. There's no background, no color, stuff like that. And he's like, dude, what? Bro, he needs to pay you more because I get paid more on just pictures. And I'm like, I don't know. He's like a popular creator. I don't really want to like bug
But
him or
dad,
anything. Like,
I'm a kid. It's like
yeah,
yeah, well, I'm just not as good as you or whatever,
yeah, exactly. I'm
So
like,
yeah, I
well, you're
mean,
like a professional. I'm just starting out. I can't start out high. Can't start off with high prices.
yeah, and like,
So
dude, it's kind of hard to say that Nutshell doesn't know that, and that's the thing is like Nutshell was probably the same age as your dad there, so what I mean, like, pretty close,
yeah,
So, dude, I mean, like dude, for somebody who is a professional, I'll say he's a professional because in the field he definitely is. He knows
yeah,
all of these things. Like, he knows that you're worth more. He knows that, but he also knows that your naivety. He knows about your naivety, and I
yeah,
mean, that's why he reached out to you on that end, 100%. And that's why he worded it the way he did. That is textbook grooming. You are grooming a naive kid into working for you. Even his
yep,
dad was like, "Yo, he's not paying you enough." like, like it's crazy because the second you bring that anybody that's actually in the field into those messages, you're like, "Yo, dad, check this out." He's like, bro, you're getting used here."
yeah. He was literally telling me, and like after I showed him like the video, he was like really frustrated because he's like, bro, he's like, yo, I've been telling you this whole time, bro. Like
Oh, when he saw my
he's been
video,
telling me. Yeah, I told him about like the whole video because I'm like, yo, I pretty much like texted him like, yo, remember the whole nutshell thing? This dude made a video on it, and I'm in it. And then he saw it. He's like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I told you about this. He's like, bro.
dude.
He's like, yo, I've been saying this. He's like, I'm glad you finally realized, though.
Yeah, so like this
I'm
is
like,
not a new thing. This is not like me misconstruing what he did as group. It's not, it's literally nothing like that. It's like it's been like this the entire time. The dude's
yeah,
dad fucking knew about it. And
yeah,
the only reason that you couldn't get it, the only reason that you're like, "Oh, it's not that," is because you were a kid. You still are a kid.
yeah,
Um that, I mean, but like obviously you kind of understand it now. But like obviously,
yeah,
and like, dude, that's the thing. Like, I mean, if I was 15 and I was an animator, um, and I had a situation like that where somebody's reaching out and like glazing, yo, you're really good, bro. Hey, I'd have done the same shit. I'd have done the same shit. I'd have been freaking the fuck out. But
yeah.
obviously now I look at that and I'm like, oh, he's using you, bro.
Especially like, cause like for other people, if they only have worked for Nutshell and that's their only experience being hired as an animator, then they're not gonna be seeing it as like, oh, he's underpaying me, especially with nobody else that they can look to for like
Yeah.
with
You
guidance or
need
has more
outside
experience.
perspective. You definitely need
Yeah,
outside perspective, which is not something this is like that's the thing though, is minors do not have outside perspective, which is why he takes the approach differently when it comes to minors, because they don't have the outside perspective that's needed to know that he's them. So
yeah,
he can just claim that he's not. He can gas it up like he is in these messages, like, oh, it's super chill, like this is the lifetime, this is the experience of a lifetime, bro. Um,
yeah,
when it's definitely not that. But he's able to do that because again, you're naive.
yeah. And he takes advantage of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Hey, W dad though, let you. Yeah, yeah. That motherfucker was locked in. He knew before I did.
Yeah, nah, he was one of the only people that really told me like, yo, you gotta like talk to him about trying to get some more money because I don't even do animations and I still get paid more. And he's like, yo, I feel like you should be getting paid much more because you're literally doing animations for him. And I'm like, I don't know.
Dude, what are you talking about? This is the experience of a lifetime. Did you see the message he sent me? Like, look how chill this is.
Look,
He
yeah,
said
he
he's
said
gonna
I was
pay me
like,
in advance. It's like,
he said I was it's super, super talented for 15.
yeah, he said I was a talented fit, Dad. What are you
Yeah, he
talking
said he
about,
just
bro?
had to DM me.
had to DM me. Yeah, dude. Oh my god, that's yeah. I mean, listen, man. Hey, if you just heard all that and you're still on the fence about if this is or not, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Yeah. You should
Because like,
probably
come
like
on.
pull up like the literal definition of group just
Oh, I'm
for the
gonna
people
do
in the
that
back.
multiple times, anyways. Because of the reasoning that I gave earlier about like, dude, the only reason I didn't use the word in the original video is because a lot of people misconstrued that as something sexual. It doesn't have to be sexual,
Yeah.
and that's why I didn't use it in the first video, is to not say that he's a pedophile. But he's gonna go on this video and claim that I did say that. Whatever, bro. I'm gonna use the word groomer. So I mean, it's chill, bro. So yeah, he is green. He did green.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and I'm happy that you got. I mean, you technically got fired, but I'm happy you're out of it. Go find something that's
Yeah.
gonna pay you right. Because holy
Yo,
fuck,
after that
dude.
Obama Glizzy video, I had to get out of there, bro. I had to.
If I received a message like that too, yeah, I'll pull up the message just so you guys don't have to go back to the original video. But if I received a commission like this too, I think I'd tell him to fuck off. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll animate a lot of shit, but it ain't that, bro. But yeah, no, I think we've gotten through a lot of the points here. Definitely definitely added a lot of clarity to shit, especially the dad part.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, yeah.
That's what I was telling you. I'm like, oh, I got something to tell you.
Yeah, and I mean, again, if you can't see this as great, I mean, I don't know, bro. Maybe pull up the definition because it's definitely that.
Yeah.
Anyways, Sharon, thank you for the information.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anything you want to end off with?
Uh, yeah. Make sure to credit me.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's like a given. Should be doing that no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shade though, for real.
So there you go. I'm not going to dwell on this any more than I have to. I'm just going to kind of move on. But nutshell, there's no more dancing around it. There's no more leaving room for you to misconstrue shit. I never called you a pedophile. I called you a groomer. And now it's proven. You said that me supposedly calling you a pedophile is 90% of the reason that you even made this video.
And that I just want to point out is probably like 90% of the reason I'm even addressing this, because that aspect itself is kind of what drives me sick.
You made up a lie and then said that lie is 90% of the reason you're even talking about the situation in the first place. If that doesn't show just how shitty of a response video this is, I don't even know what will. I didn't want to have to go into more detail about the shit. Like, I really didn't. I actually never wanted to even use that word, like I explained earlier. But then you make up this lie, like, I mean, what did Kendrick say that one time? Like, don't tell lies about me and I won't tell truths about you. Same shit, bro. Like, seriously, because I didn't need to, but whatever, right? Anyways, in the age section, the rest of the shit that he says is that it was his naivety to not check for people's ages, and that he will be doing that from now on, which is good. Definitely do that. I respect that you can understand how shitty this is, but I don't think the naivety cope works here. This is not that's not even a business fact. This is common f***ing sense. If you're going to have someone working for you, make sure they're not minors, right? Like that. Dude, I literally asked the age of my Discord mods. They volunteer for that role. I don't hire them. I don't pay them. They just want to do it, and I still ask for their ages. So again, bro, how the f*** can you say you were naive on that? It's a terrible cope. Anyways, moving on to the payment section, you said that when I talked about the two animators, and broke down their numbers, you said that I isolated animator 1, the one that was being paid $6 an hour, and didn't even take into account animator 2 and just how good of a gig he had, which again, bro, that is a lie. I calculated his numbers just as much as I calculated animator 1's numbers. And actually, bro, I picked these two animators because of how different they were. Animator 1 spends 8 hours on each clip, whereas Animator 2 spends 1 hour. They are literally both sides of the spectrum. I included both as to not isolate, as to show that the less work you do equals better payment. I mean, you're going to say that I'm isolating and that my intentions were to make you look bad. Bro, if my intention was to make you look bad, I wouldn't have even included Animator 2's numbers. Do you understand how much better of a point it would have been to just include Animator 1's? Again, if my intentions were to make you look bad, I could have just included his shit and not Animator 2's. I could have been like, oh, guys, look, he's only paying $6 an hour. Look at this one example. But I didn't. I included Animator 2 because you are paying him well. My point on payment was that it's a dumb way to pay. Your way of payment literally punishes people for putting effort into it. Even though, like I showed in the original video, animations that are higher quality get on average more views. That means on average more money. You are quite literally shooting yourself in the foot and not paying enough at the same time because your payment terms are dumb. That's why I went into depth about the industry standard and how you aren't doing it. I did not isolate shit. And you, again, saw this part. You know I didn't isolate. You are lying again on purpose. And what I find funny about this is that he then goes on to talk about Animator 2's pay and how, he does the animations in just 2 hours. That's $25 an hour. Well, where else are you going to find a gig like that?
Why are we sticking to the isolated example of the guy taking 8 hours to complete a clip with $6 or whatever an hour? What about the example of the other guy? Why is that not even taken into account? So let's be conservative here with the numbers, right? He takes over an hour, and he genuinely does, bro. This guy's a speedster, okay? Let's be conservative with the numbers and say he takes 2 hours. He takes 2 hours instead, okay? Based on math, that's $25 an hour USD, okay? I want to know personally. I'm curious myself. Where are you at that age or whatever age, finding an animation gig that is paying you $25 an hour USD to make black and white cartoons on your own time in the comfort of your home?
Right? He says all this shit and then he just moves on and doesn't even mention Animator 1's pay. So bro, you're going to try to say that I'm isolating when I gave both sides, but you're not isolating? Choosing to only talk about one person and just shove the other one to the side because that one person is being, he's being treated well in this scenario. It's bro, that is by definition isolating. So again, dude, there you go, proving my point. What the fuck? I included both as to not isolate. You said, hey, he's isolating, then immediately only included one. Again, this is just a terrible response, bro. Terrible. Anyways, moving on. He then goes on to say that the $50 pay is just all that he can afford, and that the numbers that I put in my video, the numbers that, by the way, I made very clear were an estimate. He says that those are wrong. No, guys, the number that I said was definitely going to be wrong was wrong. I don't even know how I'm going to recover from that, honestly, but anyways, the problem with this section is that he says I was wrong by a lot, which is just fucking bullshit. Okay, you don't even have to show your analytics. We know you're making more than that. You're out here claiming that I don't know my shit because you're in a different niche and that your audience isn't all in the US. Yeah, bro, I know. Again, those numbers were rough estimates using just the general common number of 15 cents per thousand. That doesn't mean you're making 15 cents per thousand. That doesn't matter, dog. You could be in the least paying niche on YouTube. You would still make enough to pay more than $50 and sustain your family. You have 7.8 billion views. Billion, bro. Just like, quit f***ing around and pay your animators, dude. Like, this is such a shit point to bring up. You are making more than that. Quit LARPing, bro. Nobody thinks you're broke. Anyways, like, again, that is a terrible point. And the next point you bring up is even f***ing worse. So, God, like, this is just so stupid. So he pulls up an email that he got from a company in Mumbai, India. And essentially, they are offering to do his animations for, I think he says like $14 USD. And so he uses that to say, like, oh, well, my payment, maybe my payment isn't good in the US, but this just shows that it's really good in other regions. And I have a good amount of animators in other regions outside of the US. So that means I must be paying good. Bro, it's a difference between paying good and paying fair, which was my original point. Can you not see how, first of all, this is isolating? Pulling in the few animators that you have outside of the US as a point to be like, oh, well, they're getting paid fair, so it must be good. Like, come on, bro. Just because it's working for a couple people doesn't mean it's working. And also, who cares that the currency equals more for different people? That was never a talking point. That was never, like, who the f cares? The talking point was that what you are paid versus how much you pay is not fair in the slightest. And if you would just go to the industry standard, right, $8 per second animated, your payment would be much more fair across the board. Would it benefit some people outside of the area of the US a little more than the ones that are in the US? Yeah, absolutely. Who cares? The point is that it's fair. So bringing up other regions is, again, a terrible point. Anyways, moving on. We're kind of skipping a big amount here because a lot of this video is just complete yap. But one point that I think is funny is that he pulls up DMs he's gotten from people since my video that have seen it and think that his pay is fine. So they're reaching out to him to get a job. Which is just kind of a weird thing to show, considering that you didn't ask them for their age. So you just went on this whole talk, not even 10 minutes ago, you went on this whole talk about how you were going to start asking for ages. And my point in the original video was that the reason so many animators were okay with the very low pay was because they're young. And so you go off of that point and then immediately show a bunch of emails of people that are very okay with the low pay. Did you not even think for a second, oh, maybe these are minors? You didn't even think to ask? Bro, again, kind of a weird point. Also, if this is some kind of defense for the pay, bro, just because these people are okay with the pay doesn't mean that you're objectively paying fairly. So, what? Again, I just don't think this is a good point, but, he then thanks me because my video led to more people hitting him up. You're welcome, bro. Again, bad point to defend yourself with this, but you're welcome. Anyways, moving on to the crediting section, which I'll just keep this short because he is crediting people now, which I'll get to that in a second. But basically, his cope as to why he never credited people in the first place was basically because he didn't want the general outlook of his channel to change from a solo animator to team animators. He didn't want the vibe to change, which really just boils down to the fact that he wanted to seem like a solo animator, but didn't want to be a solo animator, which is a really fancy way of saying he wanted the credit, which was my original point. So he kind of just proved me right on this, but his mind has completely changed on this. He claims it was naivety and that he just never thought about crediting people because they never asked for it. I personally have seen proof of multiple people asking and being denied, but they don't want me to use their screenshots, and he changed his mind. He's crediting now. I really have no reason to, prove him wrong. If he wants to use the cope of naivety to slightly look better, fine. It's not that, but fine. I have a lot of respect for the fact that you're crediting now, so I'll just drop it. I will. Nutshell, I think that you are on the right track here. Like I said, I have a ton of respect for the fact that you are crediting now. The fact that you owned up to your wrongdoings and made it right, I respect that. There's not a lot of people that would do that, especially on the internet. YouTubers have the biggest egos, so I respect that. I really do. And I think you're very close to getting to the point where your channel is positive. Now, if you just go to the industry standard for pay, right? You award people for actually caring about your animations. Bro, your channel would pop. It would go crazy. It would be way, way more lucrative than it is now. And also, it would be a positive experience for the animators. They could use it to actually learn. It would be a space where they don't have to dumb down their skills just to be paid more. It would actually be the opposite. And they're also credited, so they're building their own little community on the side. It would be extremely positive, right? Like that was, and let me be very clear about this, since you think the point of the original video was to like make you look like a horrible person. It wasn't that. The entire point was for all those changes that I just mentioned to be made. Like that was the whole conclusion, is to do those changes. It was to make these very small, very doable changes. That's it. That's what I would like to see here, and that's what I think is fair. I mean, you're getting there, but like, bro, can you not see how all of this could have ended if you would have just made those changes? But no, instead you decided to make a video where you just lie about me for an hour. So now we're here, and I literally have to make this video. So kind of a terrible play on your end, but whatever, we're moving on. And I'll just kind of gloss over this, but he basically says that I claimed I was neutral in this situation and then immediately switched up to not being neutral.
So here's my thing. You know how he says, I'm very neutral in the video. He says many times, bro, I'm being neutral, blah, blah, I know, whatever.
Which let me be clear, bro. I never said I was neutral. Even though I did take a neutral standpoint for each individual situation, like I didn't sway anything specifically to make him look bad. If I was truly not neutral, which again, nutshell, you just claimed it, like I wasn't neutral. If I truly wasn't, if I was really against you, I would have swayed things, right? But I didn't. I took a neutral standpoint. That doesn't mean I was neutral in the whole situation. I am very much the aggressor. I am the one that started this. I am definitely the one that is holding you to your bullshit, right? Like I'm not neutral in this, okay? Again, never claimed I was. And maybe you're kind of mixing this up. I'm not neutral in this. I am the aggressor. I am pushing you. But when it comes to each and every individual point, I do take them with a neutral look of like, oh, well, let's see if he's actually, bad in this situation. And if you're not, I still included it. Like Again, I don't really know what this point is. I'm just including this to show that he outright said that I claimed I was neutral. So, again, kind of a situation of him lying. Whatever. He then goes on to, calling me a clout chaser, saying that I did this all for views, saying that the reason I wasn't neutral is because bad news sells. But again, dude, my rebuttal for this will be that I am not a drama channel. I'm not. Like at all. Actually, I normally hate internet drama, but with this specific one, these people went directly to me. They didn't go to anyone else. They went to me. They handed me this, and a ton of proof to back it up. Like, I'm not a clout chaser, dog. I was helping these people out. And like, dog, if I was a clout chaser, you're totally right that bad news does sell. So if I was just in it for the views, then I would have not defended you on anything at all. I would have, like I said, I didn't sway shit. I would have to make you look bad on purpose because bad news sells. But I didn't, because my intentions was to just make the facts public. Like, that's it. That is all it was. That was all my intentions. I was not clout chasing. Again, bro, quit coping. Quit trying to make me look like a bad person. Like, it's so stupid. This whole response, and this is why I say this response is so terrible, is that you do not defend yourself on anything. You're just making shit up and then defending yourself on a made up point, right? Like, so like you're trying to make yourself look better on shit that I never even said, while also making me look bad so that you are slightly like, what? How does making me look bad make you look better? Brother, I could be the most evil person on the planet. That doesn't mean that anything I said was lies in my original video. That doesn't discredit any of that shit. Bro, the point of a response video is to come on and defend yourself. It is not to make me look bad, and you've done a pretty shit job at it. You are literally handing me this fourth video did not need to happen, but you've handed it to me on a silver platter. You're lying to me on points that are so easy to prove wrong. Again, dude, this shit is dumb. Anyways, moving on. The next section that matters is him basically talking about why he refuses to have a call with me. Which, guys, just get ready for this one because the cope levels are insane. So he starts it out by saying that, you know, he won't talk to me because my intentions are to make it into a video.
So what I was saying basically, why I didn't go on to having a conversation with him, and I did it this way instead, because I know the guy's intentions, right? You already put out 3 hit pieces, and when you reached out to him on my behalf, said I'm okay with having a conversation. I don't want it on tape, okay? That wasn't I don't want it on tape because I'm gonna say things that I don't want out there. That's not why, bro. I don't want it on tape because I'm walking into another world where I know for a fact, obviously, it's gonna be recorded for a 4th video.
Which it's like, yeah. No shit. I already talked about this in my last video, but it would be senseless to have you in a call explaining your side, but not post it. I mean, that would just get both of us nowhere, right? So, of course, I would make it into a video, but whatever, you know. He then goes on to say exactly what I thought he would say, exactly what I talked about in my last video. He says that he won't get on a call with me because he knows my intentions are to make him look bad and that I would skew the video, edit the video to make him look worse.
That's why I didn't have that conversation with him. So the whole let's talk, bro, I can't because I know your intention. The whole chat would have been either, I don't know, skewed, manipulated, or created a narrative out of. And that's simply it.
Which, again, I already talked about this. I would not have done that. And sure, you can make the argument of like, oh, well, you know, he doesn't know that you're not lying. You know, he doesn't know for a fact, so why take the risk? But bro, how would I do that? Serious question. If you got on a call with me and just didn't say bad things, how could I make it look like you're a bad person? Like, bro, I just couldn't. It wouldn't happen. You claim that the reason you're doing this instead of being on a call with me is because you think I'm going to make you look bad. Bro, we both know you're f***ing capping. The reason you're doing this video, the reason you're on a call with a yes man that you have framed as like a super objective voice of reason is because you know he's not going to press you on shit. So you can just spew a bunch of f***ing lies and dodge all of the actual points, all while making me look bad. This super evil shit that you say I would do, right? Like draw a narrative, you know, paint you in a bad light, all that shit that you are claiming I would do, and that's why you're not in a call with me. Bro, you are actively doing that to me this whole video. Like, what? Dude, if you claim that's such a bad thing to do, why are you doing it? The reason you're not doing this solo and like actually going through my video and talking about the points is because you know you can't prove them wrong. That's why this video has zero proof for like 95% of the shit you're talking about. It's because you know you can't do it. So instead, you get into your little echo chamber with your yes man and make me look like a villain. Bro, if you truly have nothing to hide, then stop f***ing hiding it. I'm just going to play this clip.
I was okay with having a chat with you if it was just like one-on-one, cameras down, just so you can actually hear me out. Because obviously I have an answer for everything. I just responded to it. There's nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide. Totally like a normal dude facing an allegation video. I have nothing to hide. I just explained it.
You haven't responded to shit. You've deflected, you've dodged shit, all while being cheered on in the process. Again, bro, if you have nothing to hide, stop hiding it. Anyways, that's really all of the big points from this video. We're kind of nearing the end here, but I do have a few more timestamps that I would just kind of like to go over. Like this one right here. He says,
your multiple videos. I found the second last one very funny. It was like, yo, he's not paying his animators at all.
Which, like, I could go into detail about how that's false, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to play the clip so you can see exactly what I said. According to a comment I got on my original video from somebody who claims to have worked with him, he says that they pay $50 per animation and then don't credit the animators. Which that part is definitely true, because I just don't see any credit here. But the rest of it, you know, like I'm not I'm not sure. Obviously, this is all just like allegations with literally no proof, so I'm not going to say any of this is the case at all. But if this is true, $50 to literally do all of the work is criminal. Honestly, the only thing that this guy actually has to do is post the video. that is it. That's all the work. He downloads the video, picks a title, and posts it. That's literally it. He quite literally steals the jokes, right? He steals the audio and then pays animators to make it with his characters, and then he just posts it. It literally could not be more simple. So if that motherfucker is then paying the animators $50, like, come on, bro. Again, I'm not saying that's the case, okay? Mainly because I had a few comments saying that he just outright doesn't pay the animators, which it's like, that's just stupid. He definitely pays at least something. So, yeah, no. I mean, come on, bro. Can you lie about me more blatantly? I quite literally said the opposite of what you're claiming I said. I said he definitely pays, and that it would be stupid to say otherwise. So, brother, what the like, again, dude, this video is filled with blatant lies. When you know that shit is not the truth. I have never knowingly lied about you a single time. I'm going to say that again. I've never knowingly lied about you a single time. You can just admit you're wrong about this shit, but then you do this for an entire hour. Bro, how the are you going to claim the actual opposite of what I said? like the pedophile shit you claimed earlier, you know what? Like, I can see maybe 10% of that. Because I was kind of dancing around, you know, and not like actually claiming the whole thing. I can see maybe 10% of that, but this, bro, be for real. Be for a second, man. That's bullshit. But hey, whatever, man. We've got this part.
Vito, he mentioned the basement comments that I put up there. What do you say? Yeah. He's like, yo, I didn't even say anything about the basement, but now that you mention it, bro, like, there's something going on there.
Wait a second.
Again, I'm just not even gonna entertain this shit. He's saying that I like insinuated that he has kids in his basement. Bro, come on. Let me just play the clip. Yeah, I really do. You know, you're taking a comedic approach quite heavily. I respect it. I don't know about all the basement jokes. It's a little, like, listen, man, let me be very clear. I never said you had them in the basement. just being perfectly transparent here. That was all you. I didn't say that. But it's funny. I'll admit it's a good joke. Do I need to explain further? Or can you just see that I definitely did not insinuate that at all? Because, I mean, come on, bro. Like, that, again, is just a lie. Knowingly. You are knowingly lying here. But, whatever, dude. Anyways, that is the end of the video section. I do have more that I need to talk about, but this is kind of getting longer than I wanted it to. So, just to, like, conclude that video, I think it was terrible. It was supposed to be a response to my video, but what it actually ended up being was him just dodging all of the points that I made, lying about me, making up shit that I never said, then dwelling on it. Like he would literally invent his own talking points just to dodge the actual talking points. And also to try to make me look evil in the process. All while being in a call with a yes man who's not gonna actually keep him in check. Again, I just think it's a horrible video. I think that it's a terrible response. And honestly, nutshell, I think you should have just taken my offer and done this on call with me. Not Rife. Me. Because I would have pushed you on shit. I would have kept you in check. But that's fine, okay? You want to keep dodging? It's cool. Whatever. I had quite a bit of things that I was actually just going to talk to you about, right? Things that I could have included in my original video or my second video that I decided to not include for various different reasons. And in the call that I was going to do with you, I was just going to ask you about these things. But it's clear to me that you're never going to do a call with me. So fuck it. I'll just ask about this shit in public. So, first thing, I've heard from multiple animators that you frequently send the payment confirmation of one person to another person, basically just doxing your animators. And like I said, I've heard this from multiple people. The main reason that I didn't make this a point in my original video is because, and kind of makes sense. The animators don't want to send me their personal information or other people's personal information. So I don't have a perfect example of this, but I do have this screenshot. When you sent Animator 2's information to Animator 1, and again, this is his full name, his home address, like just lots of shit. And I can see how this could be an accident. Like given how you said, oops, like, oops. Bro, you just doxed this guy. This guy is a minor, or was a minor at the time. Bro, do you understand how lucky you are that you sent this shit to his friend? Animator 1 and Animator 2 are friends, okay? So can you see how lucky you are that you sent this shit to his friend and not, like, I don't know, one of the 30-year-olds that you don't background check? Like, let me be clear, dude. I am not saying you have working for you or whatever the because I don't know that. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that you don't know that either. So you'd expect to be more careful about that shit. And that circles back to the whole point of not hiring minors, because you clearly do not run your shit in a safe enough way to have minors as a part of it. You just doxed this kid. And like, look, I know you're going to say that I'm isolating and that it only happened once. And yeah, I am isolating. But that's only because this is the only person that would actually let me use a screenshot. The rest wanted to stay out of it. So I let them. Stay out of it. But come on, bro. Nutshell, we both know this isn't the only time this has happened. Again, it's semi-frequently. And I definitely don't think that oops is the right response from that, bro. You just doxed a kid. His whole home address. Like, come on, dude. Anyways, next point. This is, again, a point that I didn't include due to only having one person that would share their example. But I did have multiple people telling me this. So basically, nutshell, every once in a while we'll receive an animation. And keep in mind that he only pays 50 doubloons for each of these. But he will receive an animation, and then he will, well, basically make them redo, like, a massive section of it. For no compensation, by the way. Like, he doesn't pay them more for him having to redo it. So here's the example we have. He says, all done. He sends the animation. And then he says, when Nutshell is stating his wish, can you add more scenes in there? A shot of him speaking, angle changes, something to break the long dead shot. A good way to find dead shots is to watch it in mute, whatever the hell. And then he says everything else looks good. So, at least he's not being a dick about it, right? So this person actually sent me both variations of this animation before and after the changes. And I'm just going to show you exactly how much Nutshell wanted him to change.
Hello, friend. I'm your genie. You have 3 wishes. Go. I wish that every time somebody said, I don't understand, they would shit out a copy of Tony Hawk's Underground 2 on PS2. That's like weirdly specific. You've thought about this before, haven't you? Are you going to grant the wish or what? Fine. Hello, friend. I'm your genie. You have 3 wishes. Go. I wish that every time somebody said, I don't understand, they would shit out a copy of Tony Hawk's Underground 2 on PS2. That's like weirdly specific. You've thought about this before, haven't you? Are you going to grant the wish or what? Fine.
Now, obviously, this isn't insane or anything. And again, this was not going to be some massive talking point. It was going to be a question directly to Nutshell in a phone call. But I just find it kind of insane that a dude who says there's really no quality standard and like he uses that as a defense as to why he pays so low. He's like, oh, well, the quality doesn't have to be that great, so I kind of pay low. So like, why are you asking for these changes? And like, bro, I honestly wouldn't even be bringing this up if you didn't pay $50. Like, dude, you don't have the leverage to ask for more. You don't. You absolutely do not. You were already underpaying for the original animation. You do not have the leverage to ask for a second rendition. And it's like, dude, I know the reason you're asking for this change is because of audience retention. But it's like, bro, how are you going to ask this dude to take even more time on his animation just to pad your pockets when you refuse to even pay him fairly? It's fucked up. You're not even paying this guy enough for half of his animation. How are you going to expect him? Because again, that's all that audience retention does. You're not asking him to make a better product because like he did a bad job. You're asking him to make a better product solely because of audience retention, solely so you can make more money from it. Bro, I don't know, maybe pay him more? Like if you're going to say that you have really like no quality requirements and then immediately ask for a quality change, I don't know, bro. Pay him more. But I guess it's just my opinion. Okay, so earlier on in the call with Sharon, or Animator 1. He mentioned that Nutshell was kind of telling him that he was paying in advance for all of his work forever. And I obviously skipped that section earlier, but now I'm going to include that part of the call to just kind of show exactly what he had said.
Okay, so he says, bro, hold on. So you say, thank you, because he complimented you for, like how good you were at animating. And
Yeah.
so you said thank you, and he said, and the last payment was for the previous 2 animations. If it were for another 2 animations, I would have for sure done them, or for sure finished them. I don't want to just run away with free money. That's not how I roll. So he's like kind of on your ass because you like took a break or whatever.
So yeah, so pretty much he paid me for the 2 animations that I did, right?
Right.
And then I got commissioned, and I was working on the commissions. It's the one that I showed you last night,
Mm-hmm.
and like that one took a couple like a month or two, right? And when he was like he'd been texting me, see like
Wait.
you can
So you didn't.
see
He didn't even give you a topic. Like, so like you finished the 2 topics he sent you, right? So he sent you 2 topics.
yes,
You got them done, sent them out, and then you took a break.
yeah. So look, so he sent me. I'm gonna just go up. So he sent me the payment for the last 2 I made. Um, he sent me. He's okay. Yeah, he sent me the payment for the last 2 I made. He sent me this one. This is audio 1 out of 2.
Okay.
All right, wait. It's like kind of confusing the way that he does it. So it's audio 2 out of 2, right? And then he sent me audio 1 out of 2. Then he like he said, all right, before I send the payment for the next 2, do I owe you extra? And I'm like, yes, for the first clip because it was like 30 seconds and above. So he sent me the payment,
Okay. So he sent you
and he
the payment
said,
for the
then
2.
then
Gotcha.
yeah, he sent me the payment for the 2 ones that I already did after I finished them. Then yeah, then he's like, yo, just checking in, how's the progress? Then I sent him like the sketch of the first video. Said it was 75. Then there was the last one. Then I finished that one. I sent it to him,
Okay. So that's the first
and then he
topic,
then
and
he
then he
sent
sent
me
you the
another
second
one.
one.
Yes, and he sent me another one. Then he paid me again. Then he was like
Wait.
checking on the
Okay. Hold on,
progress.
just
I'm
real
like,
quick. I think I'm kind of missing something. You said he paid you again. Was this for 1 animation, or was this for 2?
nah, it's for 2. You can see like audio 2 out of 2, and then
Oh yeah, and then you just
like I
finished
don't
it.
know. Yeah,
So
yeah.
he
Then I
sends
finished it.
you
He sent
audio
me
1, and then he pays you for the 2 before.
um. So yeah, then he was asking me um. He's like, yo, check. Like he already paid me, and then he sent me audio 1 out of 2.
Right.
But he paid me for the work that I did. He didn't pay me up front for this first audio. He's like, yo, checking on the progress. I'm like, I only got the sketch. Any update? I told him like I've been busy with like commissions and making daily animations because at that time I made like for my stuff I was trying to grow an audience for me.
Right.
So I was making an animation literally every single day for the
Yeah.
whole month.
I remember you showing me a little bit of that.
Yeah. So yeah, I was pretty much just telling him like I was making daily animations, and after the month is over, I'll be able to finish this video. Then he asked me again. I told him I was finishing up commissions. Told him, yeah, kept telling him I was finished up with commissions. And then that's when he was like, yeah, that I told him like, yo, I've been hired. And he was like, it's been 2 months. It's been over 2 months for a clip.
So yeah, okay. So in this situation, he had paid you for 2. Then he
Yes.
sent you. Then he sent you 1. You took about 2 months
Yeah.
on the 1. So he's
Yeah.
asking you, just like what the hell. And
Yeah.
then you're telling him like, oh well, I mean, first of all, like obviously keep in mind this is the same guy who says he has no time constraints. So
Yeah.
I mean,
You mentioned it times. Yeah.
which is fine. He's technically not telling you here like, hey, you have to get this done, right? So that's chill. But
Yeah.
you know, like he's kind of pressing you on it, and then you're telling him like, "Yo, I'm doing these, you know, I'm doing these animations every day. You know, I don't have time to do this right
Yeah.
now." And then he says,
Yeah.
"Bro, I'm checking payroll calendar, and for you, it's been a payment for the next 2. Every time I assign 1 out of 2 animations to get on, unless there's 2 vids, I'm not counting for. The latest payment is for another 2. Also, every time I sent a payment, you mentioned to start on the next 2 once it hits your bank. Scroll up, you can match the screenshot." So he's like kind of claiming that he pays you before the work every time here.
He's literally just like gaslighting me at this point. He's telling me that he pays me up front. Like he pays me the 100, then I do the 2 animations, which has never been that way.
Yeah, so he's saying that
And I
whoa,
even
you know,
said it.
before I send the first animation out of every 2, I pay you for both, which is not the case. What actually happens is he pays you for the previous 2. So he doesn't pay you up front
Yeah.
for the next 2. He pays you for the previous 2, which is what he does for
Yeah.
everybody. That's what he does for every single animator. But he's claiming here that that's not the case.
He was
Okay,
pretty much just claiming like he paid me 100 and I ran away with his money. And I'm like, that's why I said, yo, I don't. That's not how I roll. I don't want to just run away with free money.
right.
And then he told me like he's saying he pays me before I do the videos. I'm like, yo, it is.
Yeah. So he says, yeah, are you sure? Because I don't think you've paid me for these animations ahead of time. Rather for the last 2 animations I've already done. Yeah, I just confirmed it is for the next 2. I've got a whole payment sheet with each page screenshotted. Lol. Bro, it's no biggie. I don't want to force you to do another one when you're occupied. Are you able to refund the amount? So now he's asking for his 100 back whenever
Yes.
he paid you for 2 you already did.
Yeah. Then he literally says right here, you can just read it.
With you, it's been. I sent with you. It's been. I sent the animation or the payment. You wait till it hits the bank, and then you work on the 2 that's been paid for. And I've made a note of that 2 on the profile. And even for this last payment, you said you'll get onto it once it hits the bank. So yeah, it is for the upcoming 2. Yeah, and then
So
you
yeah.
said, okay, yeah, I was scrolling up and looking. It was really confusing.
So the gaslighting worked, by the way.
How long ago is this?
uh Let me see. Okay, I'm April 13th, 2024. So I was 16. This is when I was 16.
Okay.
The way he does the payments is just really confusing to keep up with unless you're like counting.
Right.
And it's kind of like his job, so I never really did that.
True. Yeah. Okay. So essentially, yeah. So you did 2. He paid you for 2, and he sent you 1. You didn't do it for a while, and then he claims like, "Yo, I already paid you for this."
Yeah.
And then but he didn't. He did not pay ahead of time. He says, "Oh, dude, it's been like this the whole time." He's gaslighting you, and then it works, and you're like, "Oh, okay, cool, I'll do it."
Yep. So
Okay.
I started feeling bad because I'm like, oh shoot, like he paid
Maybe
me for
he's
2
right. Yeah.
animations and I like I've been working on other stuff. So I was like, yo, I'm seriously sorry about that.
It's crazy he asked for a refund. Like he's that into the gaslight. He's like, "All right, bro, I guess send me my 100 back."
Yep.
Whenever, bro, like he didn't even pay you in advance, anyways. Like that's kind of crazy, but all right.
That's why whenever I took a break, I've always told him like, bro, you didn't even pay me for this.
Yeah. So like that's kind of the thing with the other break that I had mentioned in the original video, where like he was kind of on your ass because you. I guess that was the Obama one, right? That was the Obama
Oh no,
animation.
before?
No, the one I'm talking about here. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
sent you
yeah.
the fucking Obama audio, and you took a break for like a few months. Yeah, so like that's kind of the thing is like he's he's like almost like trying to claim that he pays you in advance with shit like this, and so he's like, "Well, you owe me, bro," when he's
Yeah.
never paid in advance. And he also said that he paid in advance or that he would pay in advance in the original messages that he sent.
The message. Yeah.
Yeah, to like hit you to like get you on the job. He's like, "Yo, bro, we pay in advance," and that is just not the case. So he's continuing
Yep.
to gaslight here. And hey, W gaslight, bro, it worked. Hey, good for him.
Yeah.
That's That's
Hey, A
some
A
professional
one,
shit.
A
Yeah.
one.
A1 gaslighting for sure, dude.
There's definitely more shit that I could bring to light, but I'm not going to make entirely baseless claims. Like, there's things that I've just kind of heard lightly in conversation and just not proven in the slightest. So obviously, I'm not going to bring that up. There's just simply no reason to. But those three things, you know, I had semi-proof for. So there you go. Anyways, in conclusion, nutshell, I would say let's call, but I think we're past that. I offered to have a genuine conversation with you where I press you on some things and you would be able to genuinely defend yourself. But it's clear to me that you can't defend yourself. That's why you're dodging. That's why you're deflecting. That's why you're making up blatant lies about me. That's why you just chose to not even talk about certain things, namely like the multiple occurrences where you took over a month to pay your animators. You just completely glossed over that. Completely avoided that one. And it's fine. Clearly you can't defend yourself, so whatever. But I just had to let it be known that this response was terrible. And honestly, if you had given a good response that didn't just make blatant lies about me, I would not have made this video. But I feel like I have to. Because again, you just made shit up about me. Shit that I can and have very easily proved wrong. I don't understand why your approach for this video was to try to, again, make me look like a villain. I've said it 1,000 times, and I mean, but bro, like, that's exactly what this is. Why was this your approach? Why were you trying to make me look bad? By just making shit up that I can immediately prove wrong? That's dumb. I'm just being honest, nutshell. That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Your whole approach to this video was, hey, let's make him look bad. And so you just, like, lied about shit that I can just pull up small clips and be like, okay, well, here's the proof that I didn't do that. Bro, if you can't defend yourself from this shit, just admit it and admit you're wrong. And I don't know, maybe make a change or two. What you have with the crediting, you know, I respect that. But bro, I don't respect this. This whole video is terrible, horrible. One of the worst responses I've ever seen. I'm just happy you didn't pull out a ukulele, honest to God. Anyways, sub to the channel, join the Discord. Thank you to my Sigma tier channel members, Elite Alien, Curl, Rim, and Galaxite. All right, I'm going to bed.